Everyone, welcome to the Freestyle edition of Kinetic Chaos. This is KCP Live as you're watching this, number 65. I'm bringing up the whatchamabucket as you... turn that down. There we go. Check out the new sticker. Yep, new sticker, everyone. Got that last week, so...
That was the highlight of your trip to Corvallis, right? Was the sticker?
One of them. Yeah. It certainly wasn't the game. Or I couldn't find the trick play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I looked for it.
I saw it just a couple days ago.
I couldn't find it on YouTube, the link to it.
Interesting.
So, anyway. Okay, we got the old Mike-a-rooney. Okay, you ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. This is Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 65. I am your host, Will, joined as always by my good friend Wes.
Right here I am.
He is to my left. We are in the secret underground bunker on this wonderful Thursday evening. We are recording or broadcasting a little earlier this evening. Why is that, Wes?
So we got a big NFL game.
We do have a big NFL game that we were both pretty excited about. Me, not because it's anything super duper exciting other than I like watching good teams, but you have a vested interest in this game. Why is that?
That would be my favorite team. The New Orleans Saints is playing.
The New Orleans Saints
playing out of their minds this year. It's lovely.
They are playing far out of their minds. I will agree with that because I think that in the NFC they were nowhere near the. I mean, wonder what the preseason odds on them.
Oh yeah, were. I agree.
And I think they've got a really, really good shot of coming out of the NFC, don't you?
Oh, easily.
Yeah. I mean, I think that. Who do you think's their biggest competition
in the NFC?
Yeah.
Oh, the Rams. Definitely.
I think
who they just beat a couple weeks ago, so that's the good sign.
That's going to be the big thing, and I think it's in the AFC Championship. It's going to be Kansas City and New England. That's my guess.
Really?
Yeah, we'll get into this a little later. So. As always, we're going to breeze through the hot sheet and whatnot pretty quick because we always have fun with our freestyle stuff. And we've got some announcements later on some changes and whatnot coming up to the lineup, and those are going to be fun and whatnot. But first, we got a good news story here, and this is nurses that had an office lottery pool gave it to two coworkers who were struggling.
Yep, it's awesome. This was in St. Louis at a hospital there. That's right, Cardinals. A set of nurses, I think it was like 6 or 7 of them, went in together on lotto tickets and ended up winning $10,000. So instead of splitting the $10,000 amongst them, they decided to give it to two coworkers who are going through hard times, one of whom had a son commit suicide on the day of the lottery drawing.
Are you kidding me?
So it was very recent. And the other coworker has a husband that had been diagnosed with cancer.
Wow.
And had the mounting medical bills. So they're splitting the money between those two people instead. So that's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I actually saw a story kind of like this a little while ago during the Mega Millions. I believe it was the Mega Millions craze. There was a hospital somewhere that bought a whole bunch of tickets. I mean, a whole bunch of nurses and staff went together and bought it, and they won a portion of it. They won $1 million between all of them or something like that. And there was an old guy who was down on his luck, and they included him in the overall group. Yeah. And so I think everyone got like 10 or 15 grand or something like that after it was said and done. But right. I mean, that's pretty cool, you know, people, but in this case for them to donate all of it, was it a scratch off ticket or was it
I think it was a regular lotto, but they just obviously didn't win the jackpot. They probably had 4 or 5 numbers or whatever it takes to win that 10K. But
well, that's awesome. We, of course, we like to hear that kind of stuff. Gets us started on something good. Now, what is something good that has happened to you since Tuesday when we recorded? I kind of jumped it a little bit there.
A little flipperoo there.
Yeah, flipperoo.
I think it was 2 days ago. I'm trying to keep track of my days. 2 days ago.
It's been a tough challenge for you.
Yeah, I know. My daughter lost her first tooth.
Toofas.
Yep.
Very nice.
So we're heading down that road now. So Tooth Fairy came. Greatest story. Tooth Fairy came, left her $3.
Yeah, $3. The Tooth Fairy's cheaping out now. Is it now?
It's
Do we go by molars or do we go by?
This is the incisor. Incisor up front. Okay. Yeah. So we'll scale it up. But so $3.
So $3.50 next.
Yeah. $3 and also left her a note. Tooth Fairy left her a note. So my daughter gets up in the morning, gets the money out of the pillow, gets the note, takes it back into her room, and is, I guess, playing in there with it for a while. After a while, she comes out of her room, comes into our room, sets the money and the letter from the Tooth Fairy on our bed, and tells my wife that she's done with it now.
She's done with the money now?
Yeah, she's done. She played with it, she's done. Yep.
Okay, what kind of transactions was she completing with that money? Or was she didn't run around yelling, I'm rich, anything like that?
So I thought that's pretty good.
That is...
doesn't quite understand the full concept of money yet. She
will. Just give it some time. Oh, yeah. No worries about that. That's for sure. Well, that's cute. And, that first tooth is always an exciting one. But that just goes to show you, just how innocent kids really are, because... Yeah. She doesn't understand, what the money is for, that she could save it up and use something. I mean, she will, like I said, in time.
And the other thing that was awesome, because you always hear about the kids that are freaked out about, losing a tooth or whatever.
Yeah.
It was loose. I guess she ate an apple at lunch at school, and that's what caused it to become
that's a good
even
tooth
more
getter.
Loose. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then at dinner time, we were eating something, and it got super, super loose. So after dinner, she's over there messing around, and she pulls it out herself.
Very nice.
Like, no fear at all. She just yanked it out.
Now, did it bleed or anything like that?
Not too bad.
Did you do the salt water gurgling thing?
Just regular water. Had her swish it out, and that was enough.
Very nice. Yeah, it's those ones that you catch when they're, because you've got like the slightly loose, and then you get like the 45-degree angle, and then you get like the 60-degree angle, and by then they just about dang near fall out. But it's those ones that are sub 45-degree angle that those are bleeders.
They're still hanging on.
Yeah. They don't want to leave the mouth very fast. So something good that happened to me is this morning I got to go duck hunting. I have not been duck hunting for many, many years, since I went with my dad and my uncles. That I actually didn't participate. I just went along for the ride in the beautiful duck hunting weather. But we had a good time. Went with a mortgage broker that I work with, and a lot of fun to get out there at Sabi's Island and, just be out there with the birds and the jets. That I'm not kidding you. That, we get out there at 6 o'clock, 6:15, something like that. So the air traffic had not quite heated up yet. Didn't realize this, but we're sitting there in the blind or whatever, BS and drinking coffee and whatnot. And as the day or the morning progresses, we get these big flocks of birds come in. And these guys are incredible, though, because they know, 300 yards away what type of bird it is. Wow. So I thought that was really interesting. Like, that's a heron, that's a snow geese, duck, and then what kind of duck and all that. And I'm just like, that's a big-ass bird. And so then we're going through it, and these two guys that were part of the duck club, they are amazing callers. So we have this huge, is a flock of ducks? Is that what it is?
Flock of seagulls?
There it is. Well done. I sets it up and he
gaggle
takes
of
it
geese.
Out. Yeah, well, there was a lot of gaggles. Yeah. A lot of gaggling going on there. But anyway, all these ducks should come in, and so these guys call them in. And they're off in the distance. You can see them, and the lights, the sun's just coming up and whatnot. All of a sudden, this like 747 banks across on final approach for PDX, and the ducks did not like that. Off they go. I'm like, you dirty, can we take this up with the Port Authority or something? Really screwing up our duck hunting vibe.
Did you go full Cy Robertson with the ghillie suit?
No, I did not have the ghillie suit on. I did have lots of camouflage. We sat in so this is a cool thing. It was a duck club on this guy's private land there in Sabi's Island, and you have like this shack that you pull up. It's not a shack, it's basically an oversized garage and or shop, and it had lockers, heater, all kinds of nice stuff in there. And so you get dressed and whatnot, and then about a half a mile-ish hike out in the dark in what is, I can only describe as the most slimy of paths there. It is amazing. I did not fall down and completely bust my ass. I have no idea on the way in or the way out. Because on the way in, it was pitch dark.
Yeah.
And we'd be quiet because they were trying to catch them as they were feeding or something like that. And, like not scare them, because that's like the first call is to bring them over from where they're feeding. Anyway, so we're hiking in there, and I look like, Tanya Harding on ice skates. I'm just like doing the shimmy, shake all over the place in my boots. And, we get out there. Yeah, it was nice, and they had this nice big pond area in front of them. And I did spend most of the time, for you that are watching at home, they had this these wings on this pulley system that you just crank. So I just did this. I'm surprised I didn't get like carpal tunnel or something, because we'd take turns spinning this thing because it moved the wings of this fake duck out in the water. Anyway, so that was exciting, and we didn't have a dog with us, so they had to go out but the pond thing is they just flood this where they grow corn,
and pasture,
basically. Yeah. Anyway, so it was a lot of fun, and I'll be going back out there again and enjoying because you're only a 30-minute drive away from downtown Vancouver, so yeah, it's fun to get away. I don't know if I could justify the price of joining. It's like $1,800 a year.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you do a lot of, these guys were serious, legit duck hunters. And so, for them, they're, and goose hunters, whatever that is. But, so for them, they're really into it. That's great. But for me, I go somewhere around here where I don't have to pay all that money.
Yeah.
Although the blinds being set up, I will say that was pretty nice. They had chairs or benches to sit on, the whole works.
Barker lounger?
Not quite Barker lounger. You don't want to be firing the shotgun from a Barker lounger. So anyway, we'll get through the hot sheet here real quick. We've got number one here. The final Senate race has finally been settled after a runoff.
Yeah, this was in Mississippi. This was a Republican Cindy Hyde Smith won. The final percentage count was 54 to 46. So this now leaves the Senate at a 53-47 split, which is a 2-seat gain, because coming into the election it was a 51-49 split in favor of the Republicans, so they gained 2 seats. There was some controversy surrounding her. She had made some remarks that were deemed racially insensitive, and she claims that they weren't about being racial. She talked about she'd like to attend or she wouldn't mind attending a public hanging, and she was meaning not
like a lynching,
but not in like
a literal sense,
but like an execution kind of. If you're to execute somebody on death row, that's what she was referring to. But it was taken the wrong way, and
not in this day and age.
A lot of people got bent out of shape, but ultimately she was able to win. And also of note, her challenger, the Democrat, wasn't exactly squeaky clean. He was Bill Clinton's former agricultural secretary during the first Clinton administration, and he resigned in 1994 after being found to have improperly accepted gifts.
No way. A politician accepting a bribe.
Yep.
Next thing you'll tell me that they have sex outside of marriage. No way. Well, that's glad that's over with, and we can finally put the races of 2018.
Election cycle, I think, is finally done now.
Finally. Well, number two here. This I found pretty dang interesting. NASA has landed a rover on Mars again, and the thing. Go ahead and tell us about it.
Yeah, and this actually, they're calling it just a lander. This is the InSight is the name of it, and this one doesn't move. This is just stationary for observing and documenting stuff. So it's got cameras on board.
Observe and report.
Yeah, there you go. And they've got man down.
Whoa.
We'll get that later. They've got I guess some other units came in behind it that are going to do more exploring. So this thing was there basically just to do recon. Thank you, sir. And the two, they call them suitcase-sized units that came in behind this initial InSight lander. They were called Wall-E and Eve from the movie.
Yes, from the movie Wall-E, right?
There you go. So they'll do some probing into the surface to see what the makeup is underneath the surface of Mars. They'll drill down a little bit. And just for some reference, and it's has solar panels that unfurl themselves, and that's how it powers itself, is via solar energy. And the expected lifespan of this is going to be about 2 years. So after 2 years, it'll probably just conk out and they'll be done.
Right. That's a lot of money to be laying around on Mars
for 2 years. And to get it there, it traveled 300 million miles, and it took 6 months to get there.
That's
after
it?
It's launched. Yeah.
That's actually not too bad, 300 million miles. I mean, considering how long it takes, a lot of things to move in 6 months, like, bills in Congress.
That's right.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I found interesting was that they had a 7-minute window for this thing to land, and for it to be actually successful. Like, this was all... I got to say, for all the mishaps that the government has planning shit, they finally got something down. If you got a 7-minute window and you launched this thing 6 months ago, I got to give them props for that. Now, did your dad ever work on anything like this?
Not any. He was more the aeronautical side of NASA, as opposed. So that would be not the S side being space. He was on the aerodynamics and aeronautical side. Okay. So more military kind of stuff.
It sounds like they will use the robot arm on the unit to deploy the science experiments.
There we go.
Mr. Robertson, do we have any idea how many experiments are going to be carrying on this, or what type of experiments they may be? We'll come back to that if you want to answer that, David. Yeah, that would be cool. Well, number 3, this was a crazy video. A hang gliding mishap nearly ends in catastrophe as they forget to clip the guy in.
Yeah, so the flight instructor had one job, and that is to clip your guy in that you're taking on a sightseeing tour. And he kind of forgot that part.
How do you...
He put the harness on the guy, but forgot to clip the harness to the hang glider, so missed one important step.
It's like leaving my kid in my Jeep in a car seat if my kids had car seats, and just driving off in the Jeep.
So they get themselves all packaged up and ready to go, and they jump off a cliff, and it's a 4,000-foot cliff, so it's a little ways up there. And they start going gliding for a second, and all of a sudden this dude just falls. Have you seen the video on this?
Yeah.
It's nuts. So he's hanging.
More than nuts.
He's got one hand on the little landing gear structure of the hang glider, and he's like hanging on to the pilot guy with the other hand, like 4,000 feet in the air. I can't even imagine that.
I cannot either.
This whole ordeal lasted a little over 2 minutes, and then they got down close to the ground, and then evidently it was like in a pasture, and his feet caught. So they got low enough, and they're cruising really fast still. And they get low enough, and the guy that's dangling down, his feet hit the ground, so it rips him free.
Yeah.
And because of that, he broke his wrist and tore his bicep.
Yeah.
But that was the worst of it. So at least...
he got out of it for what it was. But him, like, hanging on... I cannot imagine. That guy's got nerves of steel, because at some point I may just like, F it, I'm done.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm never going to make it out of this. And what is the instructor doing? I mean, does he, because you're not going to put it into a straight dive. You got to continue hanging while this guy's hanging from a hang glider.
Man, I can't even imagine that.
I wonder if there will be a lawsuit based on this.
Probably so.
I'm thinking that guy may have flown his final mission after forgetting to strap that guy in. I couldn't believe that. I saw that come across Twitter or something, and I just was like, no way.
Yeah.
The McDonald's touchscreens number 4 here. I saw this story as well. They are disgusting in the UK, and I've got to believe that it's probably not just the UK that they got this issue. Why don't you go ahead and tell us all about this, how disgusting McDonald's is?
Yeah, so a university in England, one of their science classes thought they'd do a little experiment, so they went around to 8 McDonald's in the greater London area, all of which had been equipped with the new touchscreen ordering, so now you just order yourself and you don't have to talk to anybody. So they did
further taking society away from each other.
So they did some swabbing on all the screens and then ran back and analyzed it. And
this is so gross.
They found fecal matter on all 8 screens that they had swabbed, and on one of them they found. I'll probably butcher the name of it. It's Staphylococcus, I think, is the virus.
Staph infection.
Yeah, and it says that can lead to blood poisoning and toxic shock.
Yeah. It's like if you go into a hospital and one of the biggest infections you can get is staph.
Yeah. And they said, obviously, the big issue here is that you go from touching the screen and ordering, and then you go sit down and eat your food. So you're not washing your hands in between touching the screen and eating your food. There's no hand washing.
If I'm out in public, I am a very, very adamant hand washer or user of sanitized stuff because of that. Because I've been in the food business and I've seen what people do. And I know that I can't control their dirtiness, but I can control my dirtiness. Yep. And, our phones, these things.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you did this to most people's phones, I'm sure, because where are they using their phones?
Well, they're sitting on the toilet.
Exactly, in McDonald's, because they ate that food. And they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I got that's a bad story. And I would like to see him expand it. They just go in there, and not just for McDonald's, because we have touch screens everywhere.
Yeah.
From at the grocery store, everywhere. You use your debit card, just bang, 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 and all that stuff. I guess one thing that comes out of all this is that our immune systems have to be pretty damn strong.
Beef it up,
Yeah, beef it up, huh? Way to go. To all beef patties.
Oh, yeah.
Special sauce on the screen. Anyway, well, Judge Judy is very rich.
That's an understatement, yeah.
So, she has been for a long time,
too. She rakes it in pretty good. And last year in 2017, she brought in a cool $147 million, making her the highest paid TV host. And the way that broke down is that $47 million came from her regular salary, and the $100 million came from her selling the rights to Judge Judy, the TV show, all past and future rights to the show. She sold everything to CBS and got $100 million for that. And that now puts her net worth at an estimated $400 million.
I read a story on how she negotiates her deals, and she negotiates just like you would think Judge Judy would negotiate. Not that I've watched her show very many times, but no nonsense. And she basically is like, I don't have to do this, people.
Yeah.
And obviously the producers and whatnot want her to, because she's a cash cow.
Yeah.
I mean, a 30-minute show and she's making that kind of money. And I don't remember what the numbers were for what she makes the show, or what the entire show makes. It's pretty damn incredible, though, for a 30-minute show.
And then they only, like with all the other shows, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, they only tape like 3 months a year.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got 9 months a year to go on vacation.
And the production cost of a courtroom show like that, which is 22 minutes long. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have one room. This isn't like a sitcom, or it's not CSI or one of those where you have a $30 million budget per show. I mean, it's probably under $1 million.
Yeah.
Except for what she cost. But a lot of it is because she owns her own rights, like you were saying. She's made over $100 million several years in a row, I believe. Yeah. So, hey, more power to her. And when you see clips of Judge Judy, you really appreciate what she does, because she's funny, she's entertaining, and all this crap, especially as you've seen, the society change in millennials and all this self-righteous BS and no one taking, basically responsibility for their actions. She calls a spade a spade. Yeah. And so I really appreciate that. Not that, like I said, I'm into daytime dramas or courtroom shows. But hey, it goes back to Judge Wapner. You remember
People's
him?
Court, yeah.
Doug. You remember Doug, his guy with his finely coiffed hair?
Yeah.
That guy, you knew that Doug ran LA back in the day.
Yeah.
I guarantee he had a T-top of some sort. And he had a mustache that he put on, because every guy that drives a Corvette has a mustache. It's a proven fact. It's in the Smithsonian.
Yeah. Firebird.
No. Firebird is way too cool. You got to have a mullet for a Firebird.
That's true.
That's strictly Firebird. But no, the Corvette, you in fact, it's kind of like to own an Enzo Ferrari, you have to have owned a Ferrari. To own a Corvette, you have to have a mustache.
There you go.
My dad had a Corvette, not a Ferrari, and guess what he's got? Cookie duster. For sure. So, well, that about does it for the freestyle hot sheet. Let's get after the fun stuff. I luckily just found my notes.
All right,
I was gonna pull it all off my head, but you want to?
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna bring one other thing. Just a flashback follow up. I read a story about Les Moonves. We covered him a few months ago. So it sounds like there's, in his ongoing legal struggles, there is one person, and it probably is going to be some kind of daytime movie at some point.
Oh, yeah.
What's that gal's Lifetime network? So it's this story was wicked, and I'll link to it in the show notes for this. This dried up old talent agent somehow gets in the middle of Moonves and this whole thing, and the text messages between Moonves and this guy are what the whole $120 million is hanging on.
Wow.
And the story, like, this guy wanted to be some big talent agent down in LA, and he, I guess, won a royal flush in Vegas last year, and that's what saved his house. And going back into the 80s, and anyway, one of the gals, it was in the New York Times today.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty interesting. So, but it sounds like Moonves may be going down in a ball of flames.
I would think so.
Yeah, he's not doing good. So, what do you got to start with here?
I got 2 freestyle topics, and they're both sports related.
Very nice. I think we should expand upon those.
Yeah. So my first question is, do you think the college football playoff should be expanded beyond the 4 teams?
I think that an 8. I'm an 8 team
now.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ocho, exactly. Yeah, no, I absolutely believe that it should be expanded to 8 teams because these games that are coming up this weekend are strictly a money grab by the conferences. Pac-12 expanded to 12 teams just so that they could get this. Now, I think it was actually in response to the BCS because the Pac-10 teams were getting left out because they didn't have the championship. But still, we got Colorado and Utah out of it, and I'm not sure that they've made the Pac-12 that much better than it was.
But I'm on board with the 8 teams to get you a little better feel for things. Let a bigger pool to start with that gets you the true playoff kind of system to
absolutely.
Really,
and if they can do
down the talent,
if they can do it in NCAA Division II, why can't they? And I don't think 16 teams.
That's a little much.
I think that's a little much, but I absolutely think that 3 games is possible. Cut one of the other games out.
Yeah,
they don't need to have these, playing arthritis tech and
exactly. The week 1 schedule of all the teams where they play like the
Alabama played the Citadel a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they do this kind of stuff, weird stuff at the end of the year too. Yeah.
So I mean, especially a team like Alabama or whomever it may be, I know it's a cash grab for the school, the small school. Right. But, if I was Alabama, you're not helping your standings, especially if you're in a tight race with somebody. You need to be
kills your strength of schedule.
Absolutely. So, you need to be playing some good ball clubs. So, I'm absolutely on board with that.
All right.
Well, we have exited, I think, the Thanksgiving zone. So my quick question for you is, what is an acceptable amount of time for Thanksgiving leftovers to hang around? Okay. How long can we continue to suck the life out of that bird? Because we're a week post Thanksgiving, and to piggyback on that, just a 1A here. Do you make other dishes out of the turkey? No. And are we going turkey noodle soup? Are we doing? Okay, so lay it on.
To first answer your question, it's funny you mentioned it because it actually happened last night. I ate the last slice of pumpkin cheesecake that we had from Thanksgiving.
Very nice.
So that polished it off last night.
That's 6 days then.
Yeah.
I think that's extending the
It held
time.
well in the fridge. It's okay.
Well, cheesecake will do that.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going turkey, though, will go ahead and finish your point.
No, but to your other question is, if you throw stuff in, homogenize into a big casserole with the turkey surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not on board with that at all. There was, and if my wife is watching, I don't know if she is or not. But,
she's not.
But she'll flame me for it later for bringing this up. But she did one year. We had the usual leftover turkey after a few days, and it wasn't getting eaten. So she thought she'd make a little turkey surprise, and I don't know what was in there, but she threw like everything in the kitchen sink.
Exactly.
Like it basically
all the casserole.
All the leftovers. You dumped the cranberries in there. You dumped the turkey. It was like mashed taters.
And the cheesecake.
Oh, it was a full kamikaze effect. Everything going on there. It was
the turkey kamikaze.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I took one bite and I'm like, I'm gonna go.
My stomach's already hurting.
Go get some top ramen.
Maybe I had it in there already.
Yeah, it could be. But so yeah, that really soured me to the whole turkey homogenization of things. But because we've tried a couple other things over there, even as something as simple as a turkey sandwich doesn't really do much for me after the fact. Maybe like the next day, but after like day +1 post Thanksgiving,
no,
I don't know. I'm kind of burned out by that because I'm not a big turkey guy to begin with.
Oh, okay. You don't like turkey to begin with?
It's okay, but after 2 days in a row of it, I'm good.
Now, see, I love turkey. It's one, I like chicken, turkey, all that good stuff. And the funny thing is that on a turkey, I like white meat, breast meat, and on a chicken, I like dark meat. So I don't know why that is, but it's the way I am. But when it comes to the accoutrement, I'm good for one recreation of Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving meal again. Like bring them all out. Give me the stuffing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give me this. I just bounced my nose off the microphone. That was nice. Give me the stuffing. Give me the mashed potatoes. Well, we actually didn't have any of the green bean casserole left over this year, so I didn't have that. But bring it all out. Let's get it out. Let's heat it all up. Let's redo this, okay? And but I won't go with the straight turkey with the gravy over it. I'll go turkey sandwich with that. Now, I can go turkey sandwich post tea day probably 3 times. Now, this year, I will say that I think, was it Monday? I can't remember what day it was because they all start to run together after a while. But I went turkey club. So we had some ham in just like sandwich lunch meat ham and leftover. So I went turkey and ham sandwich, which was a nice little mix up. I don't know that I've ever done that
turkey cordon bleu.
Basically, because then I went with the cheese over, but I didn't. No, actually, no, I did not have cheese. I take that back. But that would be good to melt the cheese over it, all that good stuff. So. For me, I'm good with one full tilt boogie, and then after that, 86 everything but the turkey. Yeah. But I'm not doing the turkey surprise and the turkey soup, and I'm not pulling every it's just like when you have a ham around. It's like you got ham, hock, and beans. You got the ham, and then you got scalloped potatoes, and it's like you're gonna end up oinking after a while because damn thing.
I like ham well enough, so I'm kind of in the same boat like what you talked about with turkey with the sandwiches. I'm good for like another 3 days of ham sandwiches. After very nice. At post ham dinner. I can do that because I like ham, but turkey one extra serving the day after, then I'm good till next Thanksgiving.
Well, I told these guys I was going to give them a shout out on Twitter the other day. I have found the best gluten-free bread I have ever had in my life, and it is made by New Cascadia Tradition, I believe, over in Portland. Huh. And Kim got it for me at what is it? It's New Seasons. Yeah, I think it's New Seasons. She got it for me. It's called New Cascadia, and it is awesome. It's the one thing it is kind of like a sourdough bread.
Oh yeah.
In that the crust is thick and kind of chewy.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I actually kind of like it. But the overall, having my turkey sandwich on that, and I don't eat much bread, so we freeze it.
Yeah.
Even after warming that up, high quality gluten-free bread. So for my gluten-free folks out there, go get it. New I keep wanting to call it New
Traditions. I know you're going there.
New Cascadia Tradition. It's on Twitter. It's at New Cascadia Tradi. Tradi. So I'll post a link to it in here. But yeah, high quality on the bread there. So let me put a note down here.
So I'll get rolling with the next freestyle. What is your top sports related vacation? If you're going to build, and maybe maybe let's not include Super Bowl because that's or a World Series. That's kind of a gimme one. But yeah, if you're going to take like a week's vacation somewhere and build it around a sporting event or some sort of sports related activity, what would it be?
This is what it would be. In fact, I've already got this planned out. I don't know if I could say it's a bucket list type thing, but I do have. I'm sorry, I'm not itching my hair because I've got fleas or anything like that. I am still missing part of the hair, but no, this is what I would go. It would be a Friday through Monday trip. So you got to have basically a week and a half. You got probably Thursday to travel and then Monday to travel, and it would be to fly down to SEC country, and on Friday start tailgating for an SEC game of some sort. Not quite now because of the time frame of what I want the vacation to be. It would not be Iron Bowl or anything like that. It would just be hopefully a big SEC game, probably maybe in Mississippi, because the Ole Miss has got to have the greatest tailgate out of all of them, although all of them are good, I hear. So you've got that. And then on Friday, and then Sunday, so you go to the game Saturday. Sunday, you go pick up a Saints game.
There you go.
In New Orleans, and then you do New Orleans for the week, and then while you're there, in the area, probably Thursday or something, you go to a Major League Baseball game in the area. I don't care if it's in Florida, Bronx. Get out of here.
Go catch the Astros. Just jump over to Texas.
Somewhere like that. You're in the area. Yeah. You're an hour flight away, probably, something like that. And then finish it up with another SEC game at another school. Probably, I want to go to Alabama and LSU. I want to go to those two schools are probably my biggest. So, and then, again, bookend it with maybe a Houston Texans game. Try to catch 4 football games and a baseball game. And now, if we're in October, late October, you might, if the World Series was there, could be it. You could hit
the sweet spot. Yeah,
the sweet spot would be SEC football game, NFL football game, World Series game, and basketball game, because basketball starts at the end of October. Or you could pick up the preseason. So that would basically be like a 10-day nirvana of sports.
Yeah, good call. My thing on my bucket list that I've always wanted to do is attend the baseball winter meetings. And I know it's weird, but I'm such a baseball geek, and that to be there.
Really? I had no idea.
They make such a big production out of it now, because you got like MLB Network setting up shop there, and this year it's at Mandalay Bay.
Okay,
so it'd be sweet. You fly down to Vegas for the week. You stay at the Luxor right next door. You just walk over to Mandalay Bay every day, because there's a lot of the free agents will show up.
Really?
So you can.
Oh, they want to see they can get signed on to a team because
so
they know all the GMs.
You've got all the who's who, all the GMs are roaming around, so you can mingle with all the big wigs. It'd be kind of fun.
Well, why not just stay at Mandalay Bay and get really to rub the elbows with the big shots?
You could. But I've done the spring training thing before, which was awesome. The Cardinals in Jupiter, Florida.
Okay. Did you go to a Yankees game as well?
No. We went to two or three Cardinals games while we were there, and I should have written down what year it was. I'm spacing out now, but the day before we left to go there is the day that the Cardinals traded for Jim Edmonds with the Angels.
Really?
So the day that we got to Jupiter was the same day that Edmonds got there. So we got to see his very first day in spring training with the Cardinals. So that was really cool.
Very nice. No, that. So that would. How long are the winter meetings? They're a week?
Well, I think 4 days. It starts on Monday, and I think they pack it up like midday on Friday, so 4.5-ish days kind of thing.
That would be your top sports thing, though?
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know. I'm just so geeked out on the whole machinations of the front office. That would be my dream job, to work in the front office.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I would love to do...
pretty soon.
There you go, that's right. But to do... I mean, the whole, your usual suspects of like the Super Bowl or the World Series, I'd like to do all that too. I was trying to think of something off the wall that you wouldn't necessarily think of.
The sport I would like to attend the least, though, big, is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because it's it's a big show and all that, and I would probably like to maybe go for like the week leading up to it with all the parties and all that kind of stuff. But the actual game itself, I just don't have... The fans aren't there because they're fans. They're all corporate people.
Yeah.
I mean, like 70% of the tickets or something goes to
It'd be nice to get a suite, though. You know, you got comfy chairs. You got the buffet that you can hit out there.
But see, I want the event to... I want to be there for the event. And I don't know that you can recreate the energy of a World Series game, or maybe ALCS between the Yankees and Red Sox, or if it was the Cubs and Cardinals or something like that. That energy that you would get out of baseball late October, I mean, it's an awesome feeling. I can only imagine, because I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it on television, and so the energy of the Super Bowl just is not there like it would be in a World Series game, or a Game 7 of either hockey or basketball, and baseball as well. But a Game 7, maybe hockey would be the top of the line because they are absolutely insane. Well, to piggyback on the baseball talk, Portland has announced just today that they have gotten approval for Terminal 1, Terminal 2, a 99-year lease, something along that lines. Basically, the bottom line is it looks like baseball is coming to Portland in the very near future. What would you like to see out of that? I would imagine you would like to see a National League team come so that your Cardinals can.
That would be sweet, yeah, although... Because we talked about before we went on air the expansion versus relocation of an existing team, and way back when they first started talking about this Portland Diamond project, several months back, the two teams that got talked about as possible relocation possibilities due to them not being able to secure new stadiums in their current respective cities would be the Tampa Bay Rays and the Oakland A's, both of which are AL. So but in terms of NL, I don't know if there's any NL teams that were looking to relocate in terms of the ones that are like weak and lagging behind in attendance. But yeah, I mean, for me, an NL team would be sweet. I would think, but geographically, it would make sense to have an AL team. That way, Seattle would have a close rival by. They don't have to go flying all over the place to play somebody. They can have somebody close by.
Well, and they don't have a true rival. I mean, their closest competition is the A's. And, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's a true rival or anything like that. So, I'm right there with you. I like American League Baseball more than National League Baseball because chicks dig the long balls. But NL baseball is just double switches and snooze fest to me. But
man.
I know you're all about it because you're a baseball purist.
And I'm not. DH is fake baseball.
Yeah,
You got a 45-year-old guy coming off the Barca lounger in the dugout so he can swing a bat because he can't.
Hey, that is still one hell of a skill.
For the last 10 years.
Just wait till you guys come into the 21st century and you guys have the DH here in the next 10 years.
Yeah, Nelson Cruz, I'm looking at you when I say that.
Right. Yeah. As well you should. Yeah. Or no, Edgar was the quintessential DH hitter. I mean, he was getting ARP letters in the mail.
He hadn't caught a baseball in like 25 years, but he's still hitting.
Well, luckily the Mariners didn't make it to the World Series, so they never had to worry about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Seattle. But no, I think it's a great thing. I think it would play very well in Portland because we need another professional team.
Yeah.
We have a market that I think can certainly justify it, but not that there's anything wrong with the pickles. But
I mean, and what do you think location-wise? I like that location because you can swing right there off the Fremont Bridge and get dumped right into Northwest in the industrial area. So I like that in terms of us coming from the north side of Portland. That's nice. That's pretty easy access for us.
Well, I'm sure they'll have a max.
They'll have to.
And for us, will be even better because
light rail line. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can either go to Delta Park or you can go over to what's the place on the east side there?
Cascade Station.
Yeah.
By the,
no. Well, yeah, I think they've got
Gateway is the other one.
Gateway is what I was talking about, but. No, I think it's going to be fun, and I don't know that Portland will get an NHL team, but I would like to see that as well. I don't think. I mean, we're never going to get a football team. I don't think.
I don't think so.
I'm glad to see baseball finally stepping up.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we need another baseball team. I think I would like, I guess, to see relocation rather than adding on to what we have.
Because also, if you add on, then you got to add on another one because you got to keep it even. So you can't. You have to have yet another city come in with Portland to do the two teams to keep it even. So rather than dilute the talent even more with adding 2 more new teams, I'd much rather see a relocation.
What do you think the name will be?
I thought about that last night.
I can see it being the Portland Prides.
What about throwback to the Beavers when they used to have the AAA team here, Portland Beavers?
That would be awesome. I mean, they did it with the Timbers. Yeah. That was a throwback to the U.S. Footy League or whatever the hell it was back in the old days.
Can you do something cliche and cheesy like the Thunder or the Storm? Sounds like an arena football team.
Yeah, name, but we had the Forest Dragons, which really how we came up with that. Yeah. And then we had something else. I'm sure it will have something to do with the weather or Mount Hood or the Willamettes. The Willamettes, as everyone east of the Mississippi will call us. But no, it's the raindrops. I can see you don't want to have anything too aggressive because we'll offend
it's Portland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So maybe there'll be the Portland Voodoo Donuts.
There you go.
That's what it'll be, the Portland Voodoo Donuts. So yeah. Anyway, glad to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I hope. So the first hurdle is cleared. Well, they've already announced that they were going to be able to do this privately funded. They weren't looking for any handouts from the city. And now that they've secured the rights to this chunk of land, they've got all their ducks in a row. So now it's just getting MLB on board to see if they can get a relocation.
My guess is the Athletics. That's my guess.
That would have been my guess, although they're driving hard now. They've got a whole new land development agreement with, it's called like Howard Point or something. It's out there on the bay and they've got cool renderings online. But I mean, all of a sudden this came out of nowhere because they've been fighting for a new stadium for years and they keep getting shot down.
Well, they need to. Holy crap. It's they're playing in an old concrete museum.
Well, no pun intended, because they have the sewage backups all the time. So, and they do too.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Portland has that too.
Yeah, with
the Portland sewer backups.
Yep.
No, I do like to go back to your question on what the location is. I like the renderings that I've seen with Mount Hood in the background. I think that in the Willamette River and all that, it will be a great site.
Yeah.
But you and I both discussed off air, where's the lid on this thing? Because you've got to have a lid on it.
Need to have a retractable roof on that. You don't have to go crazy multi-billion-dollar full enclosure with air conditioning, all the crazy stuff like they did in Arizona and Houston and down all the southern cities.
You need it down there, though.
Right, exactly. Because that's what I'm saying. That calls for it because of the heat down there. You don't need that kind of stuff up here.
No.
You just need something simple, just like Safeco Field has, just a retractable roof with an open air all around the sides. So
yeah, absolutely.
And that helps you keep the cost down too if you go that route, as opposed to a full enclosure. So
absolutely. What do you got next for us?
That was all I got.
That was all you got?
Yeah.
So we're about to enter into the month of December, and I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know about you. Are you pretty excited about it?
Christmas time?
Yeah, I think you're pretty excited.
Yeah.
Christmas time in general.
Well, yeah, you got to get Die Hard out. I'm going to watch that on Friday.
I know. So that's when are you going to start? My question is, when is acceptable true Christmas movie watching allowed? Because
my wife started like 2 weeks ago.
Are you serious?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's out of control.
Tia, what the hell? Like, okay, which ones? Are we talking Home Alone? Or are we talking like the Lifetime?
We're talking bottom of the barrel soap opera.
Oh, yes. And it's all sappy
Hallmark
bullshit.
Channel, yeah.
No.
I can't handle that.
No, that's ridiculous. And we somehow got what is it? The Santa Claus? Is that the one with Tim Allen in it?
Yeah.
So this was, I think, Santa Claus 28, where, again, the toy factory broke. But this one had Jack Frost in it, played by Martin Short. And I actually like Martin Short. Mm-hmm. So, but we've got the 38 days of Christmas and movies countdown. And one of the channels, I'm sure, has a Christmas story going on full loop.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Christmas movie? Not Die Hard, like legit Christmas themed movie.
Boy, I'd probably have to go Christmas Vacation. probably.
Yeah. You can go, okay, let's go like actual like around Christmas, not just that. Like, I'm talking like, something with Santa Claus, and I guess Christmas Vacation has that in it.
Yeah. And I like the old school stuff too, like the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, yeah,
the claymation, old school stuff.
That was so great because it was like watching a dubbed movie, like a Godzilla movie. It was because Rudolph's mouth and the words don't match up at all. It's like, okay, Jimmy, let's go. It's how did they not have the budget to match that crap up?
That's like, what is that, mid 70s or
easy.
Earlier than
I
that,
think it was in the 80s.
Was it? Yeah.
Wasn't it?
I don't know, but
something like that.
The old school low budget. But in terms of a true Christmas thing, I would say Christmas Vacation, because I am not, and I'll get Steve Nelson's not on here luckily, probably because he's flamed me for saying this before. I am not a Christmas Story fan.
Really?
Not at all.
You and Kim. She does not like that movie either. I usually will watch it once a year because seeing Ralphie come down in the rabbit outfit, love that. That's one of my favorite things. But for me, the top of the line movie for Christmas is going to be Elf. Because anytime you're doing like shots of maple syrup, like a true Canadian, because Elf is basically just a giant Canadian.
Yep.
That's what he is. Yep. They're excited about Christmas and the crappy weather, and they put syrup on everything. Not to stereotype Canadians. It's not. I mean, just it's the truth. It's not made up.
But I would. You said you're not going to let me do it, but I would take Die Hard #1.
You would? Let's see.
Love me some Die Hard.
I actually saw on Facebook the other day somebody wanted to give a shout out to whatever the guy's name is that plays the cop in that movie, and thanked him for
Reginald Johnson.
Reginald, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And wanted to thank him for
Sergeant Al Powell.
Exactly.
Just came up.
Well
there we go.
Done.
Right
Sergeant Al Powell and everything he had done at Nakatomi Plaza.
Like, I got to get a Nakatomi shirt. There's so many of those out there now.
Is there really?
Oh yeah, like Nakatomi Christmas Party 1984 or whatever. Like they've got those reproduction shirts. I got to get me one of those.
I remember watching that movie. Yeah, and that was I was like 8. Something like that when it came out, or when I saw it, 8, 9, and that was some next level stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it was like, holy moly! I mean, who's this Bruce Willis guy?
Yeah,
he was crazy.
Awesome action stuff in there.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. So we'll get ready. We'll get the. Now, do you have the Christmas lights up?
No, we were going to do it last weekend, and we kind of spaced because we did the
like you did on the photographs.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up again.
Shout out to you.
We did the Christmas Bazaar in Portland, and then came home and kind of lost track of time, and then
how do you lose track of time with a kid that needs a nap?
Yeah, and then might try to squeeze it in this weekend, although my wife is working this weekend. So I'll have to figure out how to coordinate that with watching the kids and me being out front in the front yard and leaving the kids unsupervised in the house.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just have them come out and help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Alton,
get Alton up on the ladder.
Get out! Yeah. Oh yeah, just put him on your shoulders. He can hand you stuff. That'll go out really well.
But I know next Saturday is Christmas tree day, so I may, if we are unable to do it this weekend, then definitely next Saturday with the Christmas tree, we'll get the tree in the morning, and then I can come home after that and get the lights up. So,
we don't have lights up yet. I will say we'll probably do the cheater with, now that they've got these like laser light shows that just you can shine on the house.
Oh, you just plant the stake in the yard and you're done.
Bang.
Yeah.
But hey, because what do you call people that leave their Christmas lights up all year? Are they prepared or are they lazy?
Lazy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Not to take a shot at any viewers or listeners, but you got to kind of and then you have the people that I've got to give them all the credit in the world for going out there, and they truly have the Christmas vacation. Their electric meters going because some of the shows now are just incredible with all these inflatables and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Well, let's segue over to some foosball. What we were talking at the top of the show about what we thought was coming out of the AFC and NFC, but what do we think? Do we think that a team who's our top teams? Let's do our just power 4 in the NFL right now, or power 3.
Regardless of conference?
Yeah, regardless of conference.
Okay. I go number 1, Saints. Number 2, probably Rams. 3, Chiefs. And then I would say 4. I think Chargers are sneaky good.
I think that the Chargers have an overall better shot at getting to the Super Bowl than the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And this is why. Mahomes is awesome. Playoff football in January, that's a different animal.
Yeah.
And I think Phillip Rivers has got it.
Yeah.
Nothing, we don't have to get too crazy with the cheese whiz on this, but I think that Rivers is due, and I think they've got the defense with Bosa.
Yeah.
That dude is... Now, I did hear him on Dan Patrick the other day, and he basically has the personality of a pancake. I mean, I'm no shot at you, Joey Bosa, but my goodness, man, they like
pulling
Dan
answers out, I'm like extracting.
Trying to get talk. And the guys all said he sounded like the bad guys from Point Break, which that's not saying much about the bad guys in Point Break, but it was like Dan was surgically extracting every answer from him.
That's a bad interview when you got to go down that road.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to put I think the Rams are going to avenge the Saints, and I think they're going to pull it out there.
And the good thing now is with the Saints beating the Rams, they have the tiebreaker. So if it gets to that point, it'll be in New Orleans if there is a rematch. So that helps the Saints out a little bit.
But see, this is where I differ with you on that. I think it helps both teams because both of those teams rely so much on the air that having it in a neutral environment. Now, I know that all things being equal, the fans make it different. But there's nothing to worry about weather-wise. Even though LA is, going to be pretty nice, 72 degrees and no wind, and you've got two quarterbacks that can whip it around. First of all, hammer the over if you're going to be betting that one, because it's going to blow that one out from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I just think the Saints have more offensive weapons because what they did last time when they played the Rams worked is that obviously the Rams are built around Gurley. Yeah. So you just stack the line and shut Gurley down and you force Goff to throw. And you got Brandon Cooks, but they're not high-flying dynamic receivers. So, I mean, if you take versus, on the other hand, the Saints' 2 running backs, a two-headed monster of Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, if you try to take the run game away from them, that's fine because those guys catch too. Mm-hmm. So you can go empty set backfield and you can put Kamara and or Ingram in the slot, not so much Ingram, but Kamara all the time. They use him in the slot. Then you got a linebacker on Kamara. That's no matchup. Kamara can run routes like crazy all over a linebacker, so that they can create mismatches. I think more so than any other team that I've seen, just based on the versatility of their players. We talked about Taysom Hill before we went on the air. That guy out of BYU is just nuts because they run the Wildcat with him and it run basically, which turns into an option play every time because it's an option. He runs around the end and he keeps it more often than not. But for that guy technically being a quarterback, he is built like a running back. I mean, he just lowers his head and just levels people. He's a beast.
Yeah, he brings the hammer. The one thing I'll give the Rams, though, is their defensive line can be, when they are on their game, the most disruptive defensive line in the game.
And that's very true, and that's what was so fun to watch with the Saints-Rams, because it was strength versus strength, because the Saints have the best offensive line in the NFL statistically. Yep. Breeze has been sacked like twice this year.
Yeah, not at all.
And no hurry-ups, no pressures on him at all. So they have, statistically speaking, by far and away the best offensive line. So that's what was fun, was watching the great Rams defensive front going against the best offensive line, and they handle them pretty well. So. Yeah,
I don't know. I think that when that comes down, and I've got to think that it's probably going to be in the championship, the NFC championship game that they'll meet. That'll be a great game.
Yeah, it will be.
Something I saw before you got here, not very long before you got here, was that Stormy Daniels is back in the news. And that, I don't know if you saw this or not, but she actually did not want to file the defamation lawsuit. It was all Avenatti's idea.
Yeah.
And the other thing that and I'm just mentioning this, we don't really have to talk about it, but she doesn't know where all the crowdfunding money is, what he's spending it on. I've got two things: hookers and blow.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that guy. If there's no one, he's at Caesars right now, posted up on a craps table with the Stormy dollars, and he's making it rain.
Oh yeah.
I can definitely see that. That was not surprising to see that. What do you think about this Michael Cohen business?
It's interesting because then Trump did an incredibly stupid thing by coming out and saying, basically,
I'm talking about the Russian deal in Trump Tower. Did you see this?
Yes, yeah. Okay. But in terms of the Cohen being pleading out today or whatever, the statement that Trump issued, which was just incredibly stupid and not surprising, was that he praised Paul Manafort for being strong and clamming up, and then he slammed Cohen for singing and pleading. And so you're basically saying, you're praising a guy for obstructing justice, and you're slamming a guy for helping out the wheels of justice and getting things. So it's kind of funny for the guy that's supposed to be the leader of the executive branch overseeing the country,
right?
For him to be siding with the guy that's trying to stonewall a criminal investigation and picking on a guy that. And the other angle of that too is that this Cohen supposedly has these tapes of Trump talking and all that kind of stuff.
Evidently.
Yeah, and so the more Trump. Well, two things. Now that he's pled guilty, what is he going to start spilling? And then the more Trump flames him, that's going to be more more reason for him to start leaking stuff too. So.
Absolutely. And this news that Trump was going to give Putin a $50 million place in Trump Tower back in 2016. That I don't care, friends. That is not going to end well for somebody.
Yeah.
Because if that shit was going to go down, oh boy.
And then now with Russia firing on the Ukrainian warships and taking possession of those, and now they've got the G20 meeting in Buenos Aires next week. I think, this coming week.
Well, yeah,
and
Xi Jinping got there today. I saw.
And then, but Trump and Putin were supposed to have a sit down.
Yeah.
And Trump announced today that he canceled the sit down with Putin because of the Ukrainian fiasco. So.
Well, it's because Nikki Haley was just slapping his wrist like, "You dumb ass!
Yeah,
can't do this." But I guess that he and China. Xi Jinping, whatever the hell.
Xi Jinping or something, yeah.
They're going to be meeting on Saturday to talk about these punitive tariffs and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, with what happened with GM and the $1 billion extra that it's costing them in tariffs and putting people out of work, there's more to it than just that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a big part of it. So hopefully these tariffs that aren't helping any of this, I don't think.
No.
All right, we can put that to the end. So, you got anything else you want to talk about?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I'm fresh out of material.
Fresh out? Yeah. Well, we've got a little bit of change and stuff in a format coming up. As you can tell through the holidays and all that kind of stuff, the schedule has been changing a little bit and whatnot. I am starting my new real estate podcast this Monday that will drop. We'll actually have a number of episodes that will drop first. So Wes and I, for the winter time, because I'll be pretty busy getting that launched and whatnot, are going to go to 1 day a week on Thursdays with our freestyle type show until the springtime, when we will go back to 2 shows, but our format's going to change a little bit. Monday is going to be a HotSheet freestyle, kind of like what we do today, a little bit of serious, a little bit more fun. And then our Thursday show is going to be kind of everything's on the table. Sports, it's going to be more geared around sports and then lifestyle type stuff. Is that a good way to?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
To describe it? So we've got that coming up. The William J. Slater Reality and Real Estate Podcast is what I will be calling that. So that we'll look for that on Monday. And what else do we have? We've got some interviews and stuff coming up that you and I haven't even talked about yet. But those will be coming up, and we've got Girls' Night Out coming up on December 4th.
Tuesday, yeah.
Exactly. So hopefully everyone that has a chance to go there, we will not be there, but that's going to be a really cool event that KCP has sponsored with a basket, and so hopefully somebody wins that, and
we'll make sure.
Hopefully, none of our folks win that. It's somebody else is lucky enough.
Make sure that Tia gets some photos while they're there, so we can post up some splash photos on the pages.
Absolutely.
On the webpage.
So that's so we got that going on, and then I think we should do a Christmas episode where we might even have to do a Christmas cooking episode because we haven't done a food show in a while.
Yeah, I'm missing the food show.
Yeah, so I think we'll just kind of put that out there right now. We should do like some kind of guys-related Christmas show, something like that, some food stuff. Anyway, we'll be, and I want to get the kind of curate our recipes and whatnot on the website. So look for that at www.kineticchaos.com. You can find us on IG, Kinetic Chaos Productions, Twitter at Kinetic Chaos Pod, and Facebook, just facebook.com, Kinetic Chaos Productions. What else do we have? Anything else?
I think that's it.
It is it. I'm ready for Friday, man. This has been one of those weeks. I don't know. Last week, because I was fresh off Vegas, I was a day behind, which is about the best way to be.
Yeah.
When you're like, it's Tuesday in your mind, but it's actually Wednesday, it doesn't get much better than that because you're always like one day closer to the weekend, right?
I think it's the grind now to coming out of Thanksgiving. We had the chunk of time off, you're relaxed, you're eating good, and now it's
in the neighborhood.
That's right. Now it's back into the grind of the real world. It's kind of like, you're trying to get back on
you're wearing
the
off
cycle.
the tryptophan.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had to get back to the gym. That was brutal coming out of the Thanksgiving weekend there. But no, just I don't know what it is. It has been a grind this week.
Yeah,
but we'll have a good weekend. Everyone that's going out there hunting for your Christmas tree, hunt safely. Wear all your camo so that none of the other hunters shoot at you.
Get you with the chainsaw.
Exactly. You never want to get chainsawed at a Christmas tree farm. Or do you like? Which one do you do? Real quick before we close up shop. Do you chop, or are you a fake guy?
No. We go to Farrell Farms. Yep.
Now, is that a you cut or is it you go?
Either or. Oh. You can cut it, or they got a bunch of dudes walking around with chainsaws that you can. So if you want,
are they wearing hockey masks?
Yeah,
by the chance?
If you want them to cut it, they'll give you like a pink ribbon, and you tie it on the tree, and you write your name on it.
Really?
And then you can go back to the campfire and have s'mores and hot cocoa. And then they just drive around looking for the pink tags on the trees, and they'll chop
Does it have your name? You have your name on it?
Yeah, you write your name on the tag, yeah. And then you bring it back in, they'll shake all the loose needles off, they'll bale it for you and set it up on the rack, and so then you just kind of keep a watch out and go check the tags on the rack and see which one's yours. And
I'm going to have to check that place out this year.
It's really cool.
We usually go up out of the center. Sometimes they're not open, so we like to go out there and chop it down.
Yeah, so and they've got saws you can use too, not chainsaws, regular saws.
Yeah.
So you can bring your own saw, you can use their saw, or you can have their people take their chainsaw and whack it for you. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, have a wonderful weekend. If you're listening to us on Friday, hope you guys enjoyed this. Get you through your work day and whatnot. We will see you on Monday. We got anything special for Monday?
We'll see you on Monday.
You'll see me on Monday. Yeah, I just totally forgot that.
Our new schedule. So we'll see, as Kinetic Chaos, we'll see you guys again a week from now, next Thursday.
Yes, next Thursday. So, this has been Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 65. Thank you guys very much for listening. We will see you later.
Have a good weekend.
Here we go. Facebook. Very much, thank you guys.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, we had a lot of viewers today.
We had good viewers today, and look at this. This is how we talk.
All right, guys. So as we said before, schedule change. We will be going to once weekly every Thursday, and will supplant that with his new real estate podcast for the time being on Mondays. So we'll see you next week.